If you are like me, you would love to dive into some new tapes you just got, and let's set up some advanced Dutch doors this time. If that's something you would like to see happen, stick around. What's up, everyone? This is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Here I share tips, ideas, and inspiration to make your planner and journal spreads pretty and functional. As you probably remember, this is my B5 journal. I have some of the latest tapes from the washi tape shop, and I pulled out some of the older tapes as well. And I have all my tools, my gyro cut, my scissors, my tweezers, all those essentials you know I love to use. And this is the last setup I have on here. That video should be coming pretty soon. So here's a quick sneaky peek. And yeah, this was so fun. Now let's get to the current page. And as you know, I'm planning to fly out for a wedding. So I'm just having all my videos set up and ready to go until about a few days, even after I arrive, because it's going to be a busy one. So I thought I will just have everything scheduled and ready to go so that I'll have some breathing space even after I come back. And I'm going with some advanced techniques this time, and I'm roughly tracing the shape I plan to bring these tapes in. And this was part of my latest haul from the washi tape shop. If you remember, I had shared the whole set of tapes I was gifted, and I want to use the PET tape, the only PET tape that I received, the Garden Sprout, and I also will bring in the Honey Sprout pre-cut washi tape. And this is going to be really fun because this will be a combination of washi tapes and PET stickers. And the pre-cut versions are always helpful. And if you like any of the tapes that I'm using here, you can use my code Priya10 for 10% off at the washi tape shop, where all these tapes are from. And Archer and Olive, where my B5 journal is from, along with a few other shops that are all linked below. You will have all the details you need available right below this video. And I'm starting with all these floral clusters and bunches, which come in so handy, especially when I have to make advanced setups. And these act as cascading elements. And you just need to be a bit more careful with these because of the, sorry about all that glare, because the PET tapes do tend to have that glossier finish. And I personally prefer the matte finish ones with the washi tapes, but once in a while, I don't mind a gorgeous PET tape as this. And there are some sales that happen from the washi tape shop, and their lunar tape is also out, and the lunar new year starts mid-Feb, and their tape is out. So if you are planning to do a lunar new year spread and you're still on the lookout for some gorgeous tapes, definitely check out the washi tape shop. And these are some individual elements that are in the tape. So I went ahead and picked a few to throw in wherever there is some space that cannot be used by a bigger cluster. So this is kind of the shape I'm going for. And you will see how I've done a lot of layering action here. And I'm going with my gyro cut to trim around the elements. And this is the Gyro Cut Pro. And I do have a tutorial of the whole paper trimmer tool. And if you are somebody who's been wanting to try this but feel intimidated, that's the perfect video for you to get started. Start with some basic papers, really thin papers, and then you can once you get the hang of things, because it has the blade, in fact, has a 360-degree swivel. And if you try to force yourself to go a certain way, it's just gonna get wonky, that's for sure. So just you hold it like a pen, you use it like a pen. But again, getting used to that blade is something that has to happen organically. So just try those on scrap pieces or waste pieces of paper lying around, and you will be just fine. In no time, you will have mastered the tool. So that way, you can get that confidence and then dive into more complicated projects. Take it one step at a time, and aim for that getting used to the tool first. That's what I would suggest, because lots of people do feel intimidated to try that, but they're very keen on getting started with this. And I do get asked that question quite a bit. So that's why I thought I will just touch on that briefly. And this is, again, as you can see, there are different components that you could even make the clusters bigger with, and you can trim around them, and you can do all sorts of sticker surgery on the whole tape. So that is our next Dutch door getting ready. And before I go ahead and cut the elements, I would rather have the whole layout perfected, and then I can just go and trim around them, and that's the easiest part of it. Do you see what I'm doing? And again, I'm sorry about all that glare from the tape. And I'm using the eraser that is like an artist level eraser, and that is, I've linked all the products I'm using, including the eraser, the tweezers, the scissors, and a lot of my tools, including the paper clip that you see, are from Journal Say. And my code Priya can earn you 8% off at Journal Say. And on to the next cluster. And yeah, so that is the next cluster, which will be part of that Dutch door in the back. And that is our, yeah, that looks pretty, right? And if you like to see creative setups like these, I have a variety on my channel already. And please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and you turn on the bell notification as well, so that you can be sure you do not miss out on any of that. And on to the next cutting. And that self-healing cutting mat also is something that I get asked a lot about. This is an A5 size cutting mat. It's a self-healing cutting mat. I've used it extremely well, and I've tortured it to the max, I guess. So that is also linked below. Something similar, I would say. And I think Journal Say also has those self-healing cutting mats. I'm yet to try one from them, but I've seen cutting mats at Journal Say also, if you want to have that included in your order from Journal Say. And it's fairly inexpensive items that you see, and you have a variety of selection even at Journal Say. And these are all shops with amazing deals on international shipping. You don't pay anything for the shipping fees, and to my understanding, they get delivered to your doorstep. The washi tape shop as well, they have free delivery over a certain amount worldwide, so that's not bad, right? It might take a couple of extra weeks, but it will get to you with no extra hidden costs, to my understanding. And even to the US, I'm not sure because I don't reside in the US, but I like when I see a good deal. So that's why I love to talk about it. And this is our next Dutch door. And as you can see, I'm creating like a small window right there, and I'm trimming around that. And once I have this, I'm just speeding it up a tad bit. That's it. I'm not speeding it up a lot, but I thought that just needed a bit of a speeding up because some parts were slow, and I thought I would rather have you watch this quickly and then get the sense of things from that rather than having you sit here for about an hour straight. And I'm going to finish off the Dutch door in the front with another little element to the top of that page. And that will, yeah, that is just, is that too much? Maybe, right? Yeah, that I'm looking for more of the longer or the slimmer elements so that it can have like a small curved angle similar to the one we have on the right. And I'm also trying to see where I should place that. So that is our next element, or the next part of the Dutch door, in fact. And I will have, yeah, I think that's kind of what I was aiming for. And then I might have to make changes as I go through the whole process. So I leave room for all that even when I do the Dutch doors. So that is our next Dutch door. I started with a whole floral cascade, as you can see. And now I'm bringing in the next washi tape, which is the Floral Chronicles. And this is, in fact, a restock of one of the older designs. This was this was very, very popular, and it came out a couple of years ago. And then bringing this tape in for that pop of the darker tone with the black in there. And I'm also bringing in some of those gears and the clocks and all that. Those definitely add a layer of depth. And I want to add this set of girls, and I will pick a maybe a couple of girls cuties to go with all these we have brought in. And this is the honey sprout. And I don't want a lot of these girls because it just gets overwhelming. And I think this definitely, yeah, that square shape is just not working with what we have. And this is the washi tape version. You do have the PET versions for all the tapes. And this is going to be our girl who is just chilling out on the page. And we will come and add other girls in other fun, they're engaged in other fun activities. And let's see. So this, it's interesting how bringing in some of those tapes really changes the look of the whole spread. And I'm going with that hanging pendulum kind of, those it could be a pendulum, part of the pendulum, because there's a clock at the top, but it could also be like a hanging charm. And I'm using some of the scraps from the flower I just cut. And some of these really help in bringing the spread together. And this is our next one. Yeah. So some of it might peek out from behind there, but some just hide behind there, which is also fine. And I'm trying to consciously pick elements which are on a smaller side and maybe a bit longer so that I can have that vertically lined, that one with a bird in there. Yeah, instead of adding two girls for each of those peekaboo windows that we have made, I thought bringing in one bird would make more sense. And again, bringing in those vertical elements with the hanging charms and the pendulum, all of those really just pull the spread together with their darker tones. Because otherwise, it's just the floral clusters, and they're more on the softer side, on the line arts side. So I thought bringing in some of those other elements to pull that spread together made more sense. And this is our feathers and butterflies, and they are all available on that same tape. So this is kind of roughly what we have completed so far, and this is turning out to be very different from what I had imagined it to be, but that's how I love to keep it, because I it just affects the creativity if I am too rigid with it. So I just let start at some point and let the process evolve. And let me know how you are liking this, and if you follow the same process, or you do you like to just plan it out in its entirety, or do you have no clue when you start and you work your way up and end up with whatever you do? How do you work? So I'm just alternating between the girls and those gears and birds and all that. So I'm trying to make sure that I have that placement right. But since I'm a righty, having that tape in my left hand is really, really not working, as you can see. But I thought I will just keep it there, and that's not bad. Yeah. I wanted that bird, in fact, not the girl, to peek through that window we have at the top. And this is our next cluster, which we can bring in. And as you can see, this is going to be a very floral heavy one, and I have no complaints, because who doesn't love florals, right? Especially with such soft pink tones, it's really pretty. And that is the next cluster. And I'm going to add like a full cascade of flowers along the left border, and then we will get used to, yeah. So that is the next one. And let's see, we will throw in that cluster there, and I would like to hide that very tip of the, yeah, that's another sneaky peek, that's another advanced Dutch door, and it should be coming soon. And this is, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I could hide the start of that twig right there. And this is, let's use all the scraps, and we will kind of make sure that the fairy is sitting, or the fairy, or the girl in the fairy costume rather, we will have her sit in a floral garden. And this is the next one, and as you can see, it's coming together, right? Let me know how you like combining different tapes and combining different themes, and then end up with a very cohesive spread. And I think I do manage to successfully accomplish that with every project of mine. And let us have, yeah, that some of those smaller elements can really be brought in any of those smaller areas. And that is, yes, yeah. So you see how I'm building all those clusters. Some of them are bigger, but then you can add the components and then the clusters just get bigger, right? And that is the next element. And yeah, this is our next one. Yeah, so that looks kind of balanced, especially with those colors. And now let's complete the pages in the back, and we'll start from this one. And as you can see, I'm just unrolling the tape and moving as far back as I need to, because sometimes you just need to have the correct size and shape of the clusters. Just doing some surgery as well. And at a glance, you might think that this is pretty sticker heavy, which, if you look from that angle, yes, it is. But is it functional? Is it usable functionally? Yes, it is, because I write in every single white space that I can see, and the stickers are not at all a problem for me. And I'm taking out my Pixel Dash washi set, and these are the two washi tapes that I think I want to use. And yeah, these squiggly lines design are just perfect for all the other elements we have going on. And we have a nice neutral kind of setup with that. And I'm trimming that off right above that cluster and trimming around some of the elements that we have. And yes, so that is somehow what I end up doing for some, especially for such clusters. I like to see the floral cluster in its entirety, so that's why I thought I would trim around that cluster, doing the same on the other side. And the girl standing on that floral bunch, I thought that made such a cute element. And I'm taking off the tapes from these elements, and we will have, yeah, that's pretty. And this is the next layer, and these pages are going to get filled in no time. You will see how quickly we work through that. And it's just a matter of matching the shape to the cluster, and it's going to be quick and easy if I can have the placement right, because I find that the PET stickers are leaning towards jumping onto the page even more than the washi tapes. Have you noticed anything similar to that, or is it just me who finds that thing very odd? And this is going to be the next cluster. And just pick the clusters that you think are going to work great for the shape. You see what I mean? It just jumps onto the page. And I don't like it sometimes, but I think it is turning out to be cute. And that cluster, especially with such longer bunches, it gets easier to fill that tape, or the side of the shape of the paper rather. And that is the next layer, and let's just trim off that very tip, and this is going to be our next one. Yeah, let's just yeah, that's lovely. And let me know if you have done something similar, if you like to try new setups like these, and how you pick your elements if you are somebody who does something like this, like me. And that is what we have so far, just filling in those last few smaller elements so that we can have a more cohesive Dutch door. And I like to throw in these smaller elements at the very last because those really do make a difference when it comes to the whole spread and how it looks, And that is our Dutch door. And these work great when you have maybe like a script washi or something in the backdrop, and you have all these floral clusters which can be brought in for uh, an added layer, And that butterfly is just so perfect. And just trimming off some of those part of the sticker going off the page. And that is our Dutch door part pretty much done. And let's see, we might need a few more pops of black for the other side, because on the left page, I have consciously added a few more of those clusters and those gears. And it just looks a lot more put together once you have a balance. And adding some clusters to finish off that part. And I think it did come out very well. And I'm off to have some more sticker surgery, because sometimes, yeah, especially those tips and those stems which are not needed in certain areas, especially when you have very limited space, you would rather show the florals and not the stems, right? So let me just grab a couple of the mile liners to see what will work best. And I think I'm going with this olive green tone. And that definitely is very similar in color to the whole soft leaf green colors that we have in these clusters. And these elements also, especially with those gears and the clocks, I think I will also like to bring in a circle sticker to complete that whole look. And I'm using my Pigma Micron in size 1 to outline those boxes, just throwing in some decoration so that those boxes will in fact pop. And that is going to be a very, very important element of our setup, because otherwise everything is just too soft, and I would rather have some kind of a pop, especially with these boxes and these neutral colors. And this is going to be so fun. And I'm adding a different pattern for the outside of the box here. And this is, yeah, that is again another very simple pattern that anybody can doodle. And let's see, now I really think I should bring in a circular shape for at least the boxes, because I did not want to have any other boxes per se. I have tons of stickers, of course, and I'm going to use this washi tape from Planny thing that I could just grab from my table. It was right there. And that was part of one of the recent subscription boxes. Please check out the full subscription box and the whole set up, and I had done some circular shaped Dutch doors with that. And you see how it came together so effortlessly. And I'm doing the same thing for this front page as well. And this is going to be the base shape. And I'm going to do some overlapping with some, I was not hoping to do a proper straight circle, so a bit of a doodly touch. And I'm going to add another layer using those pens. And there we have some a circle box on the front and on the back. And what other element should I bring in? I almost put down that tape, but then I realized it was just not needed. So let's see what other smaller components we can pull from this tape. And if you like to see such creative setups again, as I mentioned, please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and you turn on the bell notification as well, so that you can be sure you do not miss out on any of the fun videos coming. And if you like to see behind the scenes and a lot of perks that I introduce for members, because I have a membership program here on YouTube, and it's similar to Patreon, but it's here on YouTube. You have access to a whole new set of perks, and you get lots in the membership. And please check out all those details in the description. And this is going to be some finishing touches using some of the other smaller components we have in the honey sprout. And you see how cute it all turns out to be. And just a couple thrown in there does make a huge difference. And that's our next one, and I'm going to put it on there on the tape right there. And let's throw in a couple of fashionista type of elements from the roll, and I think that's pretty much it. And please come follow me on Instagram. I do share more spreads and more sneaks, even if they don't quite get YouTube videos. And please check out all the elements I talked to you about, including the shops, discount codes, all that useful stuff. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.